These three things specifically, when it comes to interracial relationships, you need to make sure that you guys overcome these. Hey beautiful people, thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you are not already subscribed, go ahead and click the icon right here on your bottom right. This button, is that the right? That's the right way, right? Yeah. Click that button on your bottom right and hit the bell for notifications to get new videos. I know I've been gone for a minute. I'm back, y'all. I'm back. So the first thing that interracial couples need to overcome is lack of self-love. What is self-love? According to Ari Lennox, self-love is the best love. Yes, self-love is the best love. And your love was the worst drug. Self-love is the best love. Your love was the worst drug. Oh, I'm sorry. I love that song. I hope YouTube don't ping me for singing it. Self-love is accepting yourself as is at this moment, as you improve, as you age, as you grow up. Individuals who struggle with self-love, it's really tied to self-esteem. It's really tied to self-image. When you have a poor self-esteem, when you have a poor self-image, it is hard to really love yourself. If you do not know yourself, who you are, if you do not know who you are, you're gonna always try to define yourself out of the mouth of other people. The second thing that can happen is you can really struggle with loving other people if you can't first love yourself. I have this on my Instagram. Love God, love yourself, and then you can love others. And I put that in order because I love God so much that I love what He created, which is me. And if I can love myself as He loved me, and He tells me to love my neighbors as myself, I can't love my neighbors as myself if I do not love myself. So love starts at home, this skin body, this skin unit is your home. So you really have to learn how to love yourself. Another thing that will come, and this is more of an action behind the lack of self-love. There's an anxiety, there's a fear that you will operate in your relationship because you're constantly trying to find a foundation for security in that relationship. There's a fear of abandonment attached to that. So here's what happens if you do not overcome the lack of self-love. As a white woman in an interracial relationship, as a white man in an interracial relationship, as a black man in an interracial relationship, and as a black woman in an interracial relationship, you will start fetishizing the other race. You will fetishize the other race. You will. Because without knowing, you're unconsciously uplifting that person who you're with's opinions and truths above what you know of yourself. And you will start to attach that to the race of the person and not the person itself. 2, you'll have a problem developing your own gifts and personality. Because I've seen it in black friends who are in interracial relationships too. They kind of stopped developing. Like, everything their partner said was the only thing that they cared about. So their dreams, their goals, their gifts, their personality just stunted to just serve a purpose for their partner and not necessarily running along their partner as a whole being. The second thing I think that interracial couples will have to overcome is the challenge of mutual respect for racial background. Now this kind of goes into the racism part. If your partner speaks ill about your people as a collective, let me give you an example. I'm just gonna make it up something so now put her business out there. He would say, hey, I'm so happy you're not like your cousins. You're so much better than them. What happens when you don't have a mutual respect for people of that same racial background just because they're human beings, and human beings are worthy of respect and value because God respects and values human beings enough to create them, right? You will tokenize your partner. 2, the discomfort you feel being in those in your partner's community without your partner's presence will be real. The third thing I've seen, unfortunately, too many times, is one-sided culture sharing. I've seen a lot of white men and women completely get engulfed in the cultures of their non-white partners. And it's a beautiful thing, but I believe in reciprocal cultural sharing. Now, I understand it seems that white Americans, well, a lot of white Americans are completely disassociated from their European heritage, and white culture is not a culture. It's a culture, but it's not an ethnic culture. It's more of a systems culture. It's a system around power, privilege, and basically social decorum. I think they got that from Europe with the decorum theme. So that niceness that I mentioned earlier, white people love to be nice, but being nice ain't being. You're just hiding what you feel. You're hiding what you really want to think, just to protect around you. And that's why we are where we are as a country, because niceness creates silence, and silence creates complacency, and complacency creates the same stupidity over and over and over again. So I digress, I'm sorry. So reciprocal culture sharing is super important. I know for me, people ask me, do you not want to marry a white man? I don't care what the race of my husband is. As long as he loves himself, he knows himself, I love myself, I know myself, we come together, that is a beautiful thing. I would prefer, honestly, if I am gonna marry a white man or a European man, I need my future European man, if that's God's will, to be connected to his heritage. Because I don't want my kids to just learn about Haitian culture. If I marry an Irishman, I'm just throwing that out there because I like Irishmen. Irish history is very, very, very interesting to me. Before I even started watching Outlander, I've always found Irishmen very handsome. I love their accents. Irish and Scottish men, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, I need him to be connected to that. Please share some of your culture from the Highland, the Highland cultures from the clan that you come from with our children. I don't want my children to just be Haitian, 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 and forget the other side of them. And that's you can see this sometimes with biracial people. Especially if they're mixed, if one of their parents is of African descent, there seems to be a reason for these biracial children to only connect to their black side, your African side. I'm like, but you're white too. You need to connect with your white side too. Yes, the white and black communities may make that a little bit difficult, but we need to start, if you're going to create biracial children, you need to make sure that those children knows who they are, both sides of themselves. So culture sharing is super important. I will never do that to my child. I don't want my child to go through 5 identity crises, okay? Me, as a first generation American, as a Haitian black woman, Afro-Latina, Afro-Caribbean. Yes, I consider myself Latina. Why? Because history makes me a Latina. I'm tired of people claiming Haitians aren't Latino. We are Latin. We are the first actual country in Latin America. So get y'all history straight. Anyway, all these identities, I think I went through so many identity crises. I think I went through the final identity crisis when I moved to Austin, Texas, because I was no longer Haitian. I was just straight up black. And I had to navigate my blackness, create what my blackness means, because blackness is not a monolith, which is something that we say a lot on IMB Woman. So do check out our blog. So here's what happens when there's no reciprocal cultural sharing in an interracial relationship. Your world as a person in this relationship becomes only about the other person and their impact on your life, right? Not good. And you don't have your own identity. And this is where people I think interracial relationships get a bad rep because of this, because it looks as if the white partner is losing themselves in a black culture, or vice versa. The black partner is losing themselves in the white culture. There needs to be a balance so that you both partners can be themselves 100% and come to the table as 200s, you know? So that's my take on interracial relationships, and, you know, stemming from a lot of articles that I wrote on my I Am the Woman articles posted on that blog. So do check out that blog. If you are in an interracial relationship, please come. You know, I haven't been in it. I've never been in an interracial relationship. Do I have an interest in one? No. Do I not have an interest in one? No. I'm just trying to, you know, I really just want to be with someone who loves themselves, who knows themselves, and loves humanity and respects humanity regardless of the skin that human is wearing. I refuse to procreate with someone who doesn't have that mindset. Because one, I'm not trying to damage my children. I know parenting is hard, but if I can help my children be one step ahead, I want them to love themselves 100% so that they can pour out that love and show and display that love with their children, and so on and so on. That's a big part of the healing process. And I am just so tired of black men fetishizing white women fetishizing black men, white men fetishizing black women fetishizing white men, and every other race fetishizing other races. Because what it does is removes the person that you may have true romantic feelings for. It removes that person as a human being, and they become their skin. It's a very painful experience for that person. No person wants to just be skin or body or breasts or a vagina or a penis or ass. Like, no person wants to be reduced to that. And I wouldn't ever want to reduce anyone to that as well. So that is my post. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will be back. I'm going to do some videos of how to style your bed twist after I wash my hair, and some hair wrapping tutorials. So thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe and share this video. Bye. Hey, it's Kim here. Thank you so much again for tuning into this channel. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell for notifications. Do you want me to talk about something specific? Please leave a comment below, either if you're on Facebook, Instagram, or on YouTube. Leave a comment and I'll be sure to post it. Thanks for tuning in.